Hey everybody, Zach here at Etrailer.Com, and today we're going to take a look at a line of bike stands from Kuat. That's the Tridoc and Trail Doc lines. If you're familiar with the NV 2.0, you definitely know about the bike repair stand that comes with it. This is going to be a nice little feature that they've added on there to allow you to work on your bike or tune it at the trailhead. So this is a cool feature, but sometimes you want to work on it at home. So that's why they have the Tridoc and Trail Doc set up. It's going to come in a couple different configurations. The one I have here today is the Trail Doc. And what this one is this comes with the base that you see here in that orange that's kind of familiar with Kuat. But then it also has this black arm that comes on top. It also has a silver base with the black arm. But if we remove this top arm right here, let's say we already own the NV 2.0. You don't want to buy the whole kit. You can buy just the Tridoc stand itself, so in the orange or the gray, and then we can remove the arm from our NV 2.0, or if you have the add-on for the NV 2.0 base, we can take this out, and then we can just slide it into the Tridoc stand. And we're going to have the same exact features. The only difference is if you go with this way, you're going to have the matching orange color combo like you see here today. So there's a little bit of a difference when it comes to color, but all the functionality and all the specs on it are all going to be the same regardless of which combination you go with. But today we're just going to kind of focus on the Trail Doc setup and how this works. We're going to open this clamp up right here, and we're going to slide this down in there. So I'm going to get this set up in this position right here, just midway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this knob right here, and I'm going to twist that. And that will open things up all the way there. And then I'm going to quarter turn it, and I'm just going to ratchet it down. You can probably hear that just a little bit. And then I can grab my bike. And we can get this set in place. So I'm going to set that down in there, and then I'm going to push that till it makes contact, and then I can rotate that knob until it fully grabs onto my bike. You can see it's fully supported now. You can see I don't have a chain on this bike. We have some work to do with it, so this is going to give us a perfect setup to work on this bike. Now the biggest benefit of having this stand versus just leaving it on my bike rack is two things. One, I have so much more flexibility with rotating this around to work on it. I'm not fixed to just kind of a 180 setup there, not even that with the bike rack, but then also how I can move this around. I don't have to have my bike rack hooked up to my car and somewhere in the garage. I can move this all over the garage, or I could take it inside and start working on it. Now when it comes to lifting it up, I would definitely take the bike off of there, but you can see as I rotate this all the way around with that really nice wide base that this has, with this carbon bike, I don't have any worries about this tipping over. I would really have to hit this bike pretty hard to knock it over. Now I definitely would feel more comfortable if it's sitting over one of those legs with its weight. I mean, this is definitely a little bit more probable of turning over there, but I think you'd really have to hit it hard. So I think that this is still going to provide us a nice wide base. Now that base has a max of 45 inches, so that's really got a good reach there. And then it has these rubber coated feet on the end, so if you hit this pretty hard, it's going to scoot a little bit, but just minor bumps, that's going to do a good job of holding on to most surfaces and preventing that slipping around. Now I'm going to take my bike off, and we're going to take a closer look at this. And to take it off, we're going to do the opposite of how we put it on. So we'll twist that knob until it pops loose. Take some pressure off of it, and then it slides out. Now this is where we could raise and lower it. I think that a lot of people are still going to try to raise and lower it with their bike on there, but I wouldn't recommend that. So you can see bringing this all the way up, there's a line right there, and that tells us that's the max we can bring this out. So we'll put it right there. And this is the highest that we can bring our bike stand. Now if you brought those legs in a little bit higher, you definitely get higher reach, but I'd recommend keeping them out as far as you can, give you a much wider platform down there. So from the ground, and I'm going to go to the bottom right here where our bike is going to rest. That's measuring at 60 3/4 of an inch. So that's a really good reach right there. And then if I brought that all the way down, that's measuring at 45 and a half. So that's pretty good travel right there. So that's going to give most people the right height to work on their bike. If we take a closer look here at where our bike is held onto by this arm, it's rubber coated. So it's going to do a good job of cutting down on scratches on that finish on your bike. But if you had this tightened down and you tried to scoot your bike around in there, you're probably going to scuff it. Now, as long as you're not super aggressive with it, I think you could probably rub that off with your thumb. But let's give you a better idea how this works. So you'll see here, I'll give it a 1/4 of a turn on that knob, and that's rubber coated too. It's got a good, nice feel to it. We'll push that in. You can hear that ratcheting in until it makes contact with our bike. And then we just turn this until it grabs on there to a tightness we're comfortable with. So this is going to do a really good job of holding our bike in place so we can work on it properly. Now when it comes to the weight capacity, that carbon bike doesn't weigh much, but it still has a good capacity at 45 pounds. So it's going to work out well for most road and mountain bikes. You throw an electric bike up here, a fat tire bike, it might hold it for a minute, but you're really going to wear out those components. You really run the risk of tipping this over, so please stay within that 45-pound weight limit. But that being said, the construction's really nice. The aluminum throughout this whole thing is going to make it lightweight. It's going to make it resist rust and corrosion, so it's a really nice constructed bike stand. Now, if you're comparing this to some other ones out there, Feedback Sports, they make really nice stands. I really like them a lot. I like that they have those accessory trays that can be attached to them. But I'm just a fan of Kuat. I would want it to match my bike rack. I think that they make really good looking stuff, but it also just works well. They do a really good job of designing their stuff. So overall, when it comes to the aluminum design and just how well this thing works together, I think this is going to work out well whether you're just trying to work on your bike in your garage. You don't want to be attached to the back of your car the whole time. I really see this being something where you can take this inside. Let's say you live in an apartment or a condo and you live on the 10th floor. You don't want to have to go downstairs and you have street parking and you have to work on the back of your car. You can take your bike and your stand up and work on it at whatever time of night you'd like, whatever weather. So it's going to work out well for you. I think you're going to be pretty happy with it. But that's going to do it for our look at the line of bike stands from Kuat.